Hello, and thank you for contacting Wave Support. I see from your case that you have a patient that you're trying to fit with a wave lens, and you're having trouble with this lens dropping, decentering. As you know, that's partially probably from the weight of this lens with that prescription, but if we look at your topography, there's a couple things that may help you out here. First of all, if we look at this, as you notice, you have a little bit of a decentered, elevated area through here in the cornea, so it's a little asymmetric cornea. One of the things I like to make sure when I open up the Wave software, I'm always a little cautious about averaging the corneal data or averaging corneal astigmatism when given that option. Quite often, if I see a cornea that looks like this, I'll choose not to average the corneal data. And I wasn't quite sure if you did or not, but just a little side tidbit there. If we look at your actual design, it actually looks really good overall for a G-SIM lens, and choosing a G-SIM I probably would have done exactly the same with your initial design here, but obviously this lens is dropping. So if we look at this data here in this quad view, if we look down here to the right, if you recall, this is the wave interpretation of the topography, and this is the back surface of your lens. So given the design that you've chosen, if you remember, a G-SIM lens will sort of average this data over this entire meridian and average across through here and create a back surface lens based on that. And if you look at that, it creates a lens with a central zone right here. And so what will intuitively tend to happen is this lens, this central part here, will want to center over that cornea, and most likely what's happening, aided by the extra weight of this lens being a little higher power, this area here, this back surface optical zone, is probably trying to center over this area right here, which is the more elevated part of the cornea. Consequently, this lens is riding a little bit lower down here. That's most likely what's going on with this lens. So a way to get around the couple options, probably the first thing I would try is maybe just go into a freeform design. I basically took that same design that you had and switch it over to freeform and redesign this lens. And now what you'll notice is the back surface of that lens more closely matches the wave interpreted topography. So this lens will more likely have a better chance of centering on that eye. Another thing a lot of wave docs like to do is use the aspheric tool here, and if you notice when I click on this, you'll notice that this even more closely matches that cornea. You'll see it switches over here, and you'll see that's almost a perfect representation of that cornea. So now you've got a lens where the back surface of the lens very closely matches the topography, and you're more likely to get this area, because it's a little bit decentered on the back surface, to line up more closely with this, hopefully getting that whole lens to center better. And I think that'll give you a good chance of getting this lens to at least getting the optical zone so you can get a decent over refraction. If you're unsuccessful with that, I would probably then go to a semi-scleral design. I tend not to go to full sclerals. I tend to like that 13.5 to 14.5 millimeter diameter, and that lens will undoubtedly center quite well for you. Well, with that, I wish you well with this case, and thank you for contacting Wave Support. Have a great day.